It's time for Class Racing Today, the podcast for the NHRA class racing fan. It's time for another episode of Class Racing Today. Thank you so much for hanging around for the ride. Brian and Bobby are here to talk about some crazy that's going on in the racing world this week. This episode brought to you by coffeebyartisan.com, Artisan Coffee. Don't forget to get your morning started right. Coffeebyartisan.com. Join the race team and get a free shirt, hat, and 15% off of coffee. Don't forget to say thank you. We appreciate their support for the show. Brian and Bobby, you are back again. How's it going?
Doing well. And looking at some nice sunshine today in Jersey for once. It's been raining a lot. It's been depressing. And happy to see a nice little change there. Brian, what's going on? How's South Dakota?
Our weather here is just weird. Like, I think it was sunny and nice, and then I'm driving, and like 10 minutes later, there's like, is that snowflakes falling? I think it was like 40 degrees out, and there's snowflakes falling, and I don't know if that's some kind of weird chemistry thing or what, but I was a little mystified by how it can be snowing when it was supposed to be so nice. But it was kind of spring, and then it was kind of winter, and I don't know what we're gonna have today. I think tomorrow's supposed to be nice, but
hopefully.
Yeah, that's why we live in South Dakota.
Is that why?
We're consistently variable when it comes to weather. But
I don't know how you guys do it. It's got to be. When we were at Class Racer Nationals or Class Racer Revival, had like a t-shirt on, a thermal on, a sweatshirt on, and a jacket on, and here comes Brian flying by me on a golf cart with a t-shirt. I was like, what the hell is that guy's problem?
They say it takes like 5 years for your blood to thicken enough to where you can handle our temperatures, and I don't know. I just don't do well in the heat. Like, I tell my wife after a race, I'm like, we should go somewhere where it's warm and you can race all year round. And wait, I don't really like spiders, snakes, or heat, so I better stick to South Dakota.
Oh, hats off to you.
I think maybe
I'm
you
a
were
little
just
jealous of that you have a good governor and we have this governor, but that's as far as I'll go with the political talk. This is a racing podcast.
I think maybe the problem is heat rises, Bobby. So when we were at the track together, I was just in a little different thermal zone than you were.
Ah.
All right, that's my only short joke for the day.
All right, that was a pretty good one too. I liked it. All right, so we have some results and recaps here. Las Vegas had their Denso Spark Plugs 4-wide nationals, and 4-wide for only pro racers. Not 4-wide for stock and super stock. Sorry, Brian. I know you wanted to see that and thought it would be pretty cool. But as far as the win, we got Connor Statler in an A-stock automatic 69 Camaro. Took the win over his engine builder, Greg Stanfield. And Brad Rounds took the win in his super stock B-stock Cobalt. Brad Rounds has been tearing it up, actually, in Las Vegas. He won there at the end of the year last year also. So he's doing pretty well there.
Well,
let's see, what else do we have?
This is a naive question, but when was the last time Justin Lamb didn't make it real far in Vegas?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Like,
Nice
you're the
rhetorical.
statistician. Maybe Nitro Joe has a stat on that, but when was the last time he didn't win or make it at least deep?
I don't know. He had a I guess a little bad luck at this race, which is very unlike him. If I was making an odds board, I would have put him up there as the heavy favorite. Oh, I did forget to mention Brad Rounds in the Superstock B-Stock Cobalt. He beat Jimmy DeFrank in the final. Superstock B Modified is Jimmy DeFrank. And back to Justin Lamb here. Okay. Round 2 of stock. Justin Lamb finds himself in a heads-up against Mike Johnston. They both have 2020 Camaros. Factory stock D is their class. And Mike Johnston's 024 on the tree runs a 981. Justin Lamb's 031 on the tree runs a 984. That's actually like Justin Lamb 031 light is probably, that's like not that good for him. He's usually like teens or better every time he goes down the track. But he would have been locked out, assuming he did not. Neither driver hit the brakes. Mike Johnston's 024 light mathematically locked Justin Lamb out from winning that, and that, in my eyes, changes like the outcome of the whole race because Justin Lamb's really good, and he may have gone on to win Stock Eliminator. Who knows?
Yeah, I guarantee he's working really hard so that doesn't happen again. Like
He's probably got the motor apart already. He probably had it apart on Monday.
He definitely puts in a lot of time, and I think it's not a coincidence that he's really good. I mean, that's with anybody. It's not just a coincidence that somebody does pretty good. So he definitely puts in the work, and I think Vegas, if they bet on racing, which I hear they do, I don't know if it's an actual Vegas thing, but I almost can guarantee you money was lost on that round.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, we don't know. It was a heads-up round, so maybe we don't know where the heavy money would have gone. I know. I would always assume Justin's fast, as hard as he works on his stuff. But just looking at the qualifying sheet, Mike Johnston was qualified higher, and you gotta kind of assume that both drivers will step it up a little bit. So it's a tough call for the bet. When Justin Lamb is in a bracket race versus a different class car, then yeah, heavy favorite.
I just think it's cool that they actually had a heads up. I mean, I think the Copos like that, factory stock, whatever. Like, you don't have a really good, it doesn't seem like there's a real high odds of having a heads up in that class typically, so that's pretty cool. There's getting to be more of them out, and it's not a hiding class. It's just like the rest of us. You got to fight for your life.
Right, and they don't separate sticks and autos, so the likelihood of a heads up in those classes is just going to, keep increasing. And I think they only go down to factory stock. I don't remember what they go down to. G might be the last one. Or I could be totally off with that. No, they go down to K. Or L, my bad. So factory stock double A all the way down to factory stock L. Sticks and autos not separated. The other, now that we're on, I don't want to make this whole episode based on Justin Lamb, but he did have a tough one round 3 of super stock. As I was looking through all the results, he went 0-11 red against Doug Brodus, who had a 106 light. So Justin was giving up the head start. So that's probably a tough one where you're kicking yourself coming up the return road. So it was not his weekend at his home track. I'm sure he will bounce back and do something amazing before the season's end.
I feel sorry for anybody against him at the next race he goes to. Like, he's going to be pretty serious.
Yeah,
he's always
right.
serious and always on the game, but he's going to be a little extra sharp, I have a feeling.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to face him. We did have another cool heads up in round 1 of stock. Actually, Shelby Williams in a 1970 Camaro versus Brad Burton in his 72 Firebird, a D stock automatic heads up. This was a hell of a run. Shelby Williams was 0-11 on the tree and went 10.71.9. And Brad Burton was 0-29 on the tree and went 10.69.8. So we're talking a couple thousandths at the finish line. So that was a close one. That's the one where you just like go through the traps and just look to your wind light and hope that it lights up. And, you hope for mercy from the wind light.
Maybe, I mean, they actually went all the way through.
I think they did.
We're going to do 8th mile, and we're just going to coast after that.
Yep, they both went 120 miles an hour. There was no 1,000-foot race. 1070 is 120. It sounds pretty accurate to me. So, yeah, no 1,000-foot races there. We can get more into that later. I asked about that on a little blurb last week that I did, and it's baffling to me. It always has been, and I don't get it. I guess I'm just too simple-minded.
Did we get hate mail from that episode?
Probably. It's in my mailbox. I don't check it.
I haven't seen it, but I was expecting hate mail. When you were doing that, I'm like, oh, boy.
I know, you were slouching down, totally separating yourself from that episode. Now, Scott Logie and Chad Logie had to race each other in the second round of stock. I don't know if they're brothers, father and son, uncle, nephew. Maybe somebody can fill us in on that. But Scott whole shot at Chad, but took way too much stripe. So Chad got the win. So that had to be frustrating for Scott. So anybody out there knows Scott and Chad Logie? Are they brothers? Maybe they're not even related, and that's just a common last name out there. Who knows? Somebody let me know. And then one other thing I wanted to point out too. Brock Brodus in the Super Stock P Automatic 1995 Camaro, going like 1260s. He made it all the way to round 4. So I was happy to see that because I'm a big fan of the slow cars. Because in my opinion, they really have no shot out in Vegas. So good for
Jody
him.
Lang.
Poor Jody was, what, 0-20 in the first round, treed the other guy and didn't run his number. So, I mean, it's hard. He as Brian Warner said, Jody is the anomaly. Other than that, every car in the finals of stock and super stock. First of all, super stock was 2 modified cars, B modified and B stock. So they're both going 8s and low 9s. And then in super stock eliminator, A stock automatic versus Stanfield, he was up in a fast class too. I think B stock automatic. So it's Vegas.
You could almost argue that
I wouldn't dare go out there with my 12-second car.
You
I'm
could
just
almost
not that good.
You could almost argue that Jody Lang going out was just as big of an upset as Justin Lamb that early.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yep. When I saw that, I was surprised because that's a key round, and that's a big confidence builder when you're the opponent to get a win over somebody like that. I mean, the feeling that gives you, it makes you feel like you won the race already, and then just adds to the confidence for the next round.
Yeah, I still think so. How fun would it be if they actually did 4 wide? Like, I want to see like a class racer revival type race where just stock, super stock, 4 wide in Vegas. That would be pretty cool.
Would definitely cut out on the games, right?
Yeah. How about if
you're in lane number 4, you're trying to judge a stripe against lane number 1, who's about 50 feet away from you.
And think about how much faster staging was. Just set a rule: if 3 cars are ready, they go.
Oh man,
it's like a race to stage.
Just come out of the burnout and don't even stop. Just keep rolling.
So Nitro Joe sent you something on your messenger. Thanks for listening, Nitro. For anybody listening out there that wants to have the stats on the combinations, I would think 90% of the people know about this, but the new people don't. Look up Nitro Joe. He puts together a big stat book. It's really neat. If you want to know all the combinations, what the fastest times were, what the averages were, hit him up. He does a really good job at that.
Yes, I'm always asking him questions on here too. Like, hey, Nitro, especially when a GT car does something. Nitro, what combination is in that car? And he's the man. You know, he tells me the engine, the year, and the horsepower rating.
So Nitro just sent us a picture of a golf cart literally covered in snow at St. Louis yesterday. So I think we figured out why they canceled the race. The cool thing is we did some upgrades here. We're not quite fully functional, but here, hopefully in the next episode or 2, we'll be able to screenshot these and show them right up on our broadcast. So that'll be really cool. So you guys are losing maybe I'll put these pictures on our Facebook page, but yeah, it's literally snowing at the track in St. Louis. So I guess now I understand why they canceled that. And it kind of excites me too, because I can go there in the fall. I can't get very far from home right now with the spring happening, but that I'm glad it got rescheduled. I'm sorry for everybody that drove there and watched it snow.
Yeah, that is a shame. So, like Brian just said, the event was supposed to be this weekend. It was just supposed to be a single divisional this weekend, wasn't it?
I believe so.
And now it will be run in conjunction with the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series event scheduled for September 30th to October 3rd. It's going to have a double divisional, and then there is a national, I believe, right after it or before it. You know, Brian?
The nationals first, the weekend before, and then it goes into the double divisional.
All right, so you have a national. You can probably leave all your stuff there and then do a double divisional. That's wonderful. 3 races.
You should haul your stuff there. That seems to be our meeting point. Like, just haul your stuff there. I'll go there and we'll spend the week and talk to racers and do interviews.
Actually, yeah, could be a possibility now for me. I will I'm going to take it into consideration. I was thinking that yesterday when I read it. Also, we forgot to mention about Nitro Joe. I think yesterday was his birthday. Happy birthday, Nitro Joe! You gotta get him a present.
What do you get a guy that's that smart?
I don't know. Maybe he needs some new spreadsheet software or a fancy calculator or
Is it Nitro? Have you
coffee.
Have you wore out your abacus, Nitro? Oh, there's a math joke for Bobby.
Oh no.
Wow, we went off on a deep tangent there.
We did.
So he actually said the National Open was on Thursday and the divisional was the rest of the weekend is what it was supposed to be. So
It was going to be a double this weekend then.
Yes.
Not a double divisional, but it was going to be a double grade point weekend. So they're always appreciated.
happy birthday, Nitro, and thank you for keeping us up to date on stats and all the details. You're the best.
Around. Nobody can ever keep you down.
What else do we got?
Well, I'm pissed off about my beloved Atco Dragway was having a race this weekend. It was more of an import type of race. Now, Atco is not far from me, about 40 minutes northwest of me. I'm down near Atlantic City. Atco's in like more toward the center of New Jersey. They are, all right, so they're allowed to have a capacity of 3,000 people in the crowd. All right, despite the fact, all right, this is going by what the owner says, Linkopun, despite the fact that the raceway is 180 open acres and has capacity for 20 to 30,000 spectators, the state capped the capacity at 30% of the grandstand. Okay, so their grandstands hold 10,000 people, so they are limited to 3,000 fans. Now, were helicopters flying overhead, and there were cops there right by 10 o'clock in the morning. They had 1,100 fans in the track, we'll say. 1,114 to be exact. And the cops shut them down. They barricaded the place. They parked in front of it. They put cones up. They created a huge traffic jam, too, in the area. And stopped the race from bringing in any new fans or spectators. I don't think that they stopped the race, though, and sent everybody home, thankfully, because that would have been an absolute disaster for the track. I think they were just allowed to continue, but they weren't allowed to have any new spectators or racers come in the gate. So it's enough is enough. You're outside, like, I don't know. I'm no doctor, but come on. You got 180 acres here. Like, can we just be normal? They didn't even have 3,000 people. So what was the argument here? I would love to know. But the owner says he thinks he's targeted by the cops and the governor and everyone. So he's getting upset and frustrated, and said they lost $200,000. When he says they lost $200,000, I don't know if he meant that's what he lost on that race this weekend, or if that's what he lost, like, you know, up to this point this year. Wasn't specific about that in the interview. So he needs to move his track out to South Dakota, is what the takeaway from this story is, right, Brian?
Well, I would agree. I would love to have a NHRA track out here. That's actually another point. So yeah, we have a NHRA track in the center of the state, Oahe Speedway. I think what do they call it? The best dam track around, because there's a big dam there, so it's kind of funny. But it's actually a really nice facility. It's not very old. Got a bunch of trees. Actually have full hookups with power, water, sewer. Like it's probably one of my favorite tracks to go to, other than it gets really hot there. And I'm fat and I don't like the heat, but it's really nice. The guy built it, really set it up really nice. And then something happened. It was shut down for a year, and there was actually a whole group of racers that got together. Like, one guy donates the traction compound, another guy donates trophies. Like, they got a really good group together, and they've really done a great job of pulling it together, and working on some of the issues too with the track. Like, there's been some traction issues, something about the surface, and they were planning on redoing that. And it's just been it's been really awesome. It's three and a half hours from me, but I try to go there every year to our association races there, and I really enjoy going. But they actually weren't able to make a contract with the owner this year, so they just scrubbed the whole season. And I just hate to see any track go. I mean, we all can complain about little things about every little track around, and we haven't beat this soapbox for a while, but it's just sad. Anytime you lose a track, you're just a little step further, and we got to drive a little farther, and with fuel prices and everything else, I mean, it's really detrimental to the state, or the sport, I should say, to lose any track. Or, you know, obviously you go out there, you're being haggled. Here, we just, you know, trying to keep it alive, and anytime you lose a track or have something like that, it's really sad, and it's hard on the sport. So support your local tracks, even if they're dumps, even if you don't agree with them. Just go race at them at least once in a while, because we need everything we can get.
Amen. Amen. So I wish New Jersey would just get its act together. Because think about this. Where do you think all those racers that were trying to come in and race, where do you think they just went with their import cars and whatever they wanted to go show off on the track? They probably went to Front Street in Philadelphia or somewhere to go down there and street race and potentially kill somebody. So that's what these cops need to remember. The whole point, the whole reason drag strips opened in the first place was to get street racers off the street and on a track that was, you know, safe and monitored. Now this is just getting ridiculous. All right, that's my rant on that. Now Bucky Hess brings up a interesting point on ClassRacer.com about a national event alternate list. So here's the deal. Brian, I know you haven't run a national event yet, but you probably will at some point this year or next year. They're taking so few. NHRA has lowered the quotas so much that it takes 8 grade points to get in. I can't imagine what the national event in Reading, Pennsylvania will be at the end of the year. I mean, given that Division 1 is like a hotbed for stock eliminator, I mean, they can get 128 stockers at their divisional. So they're actually taking 70 stockers at that race. Usually, it looks like all the events are only taking 60 or even 50 some places. So you need 8 grade points to get in. Problem is, people enter with 8 grade points. And then the Monday right before the race, some of them will withdraw. So the race was full. For somebody that had 7 or 6 or 5 or less grade points, couldn't get in this whole time. Now, people withdraw right before the race. And NHRA sees that only 68 people or 65 people or something like that, something lower than the quota, has entered, and then that gives them reason to lower the quota even more for next year. Whereas people that were trying to get in the whole time couldn't get in, so we were, well, not we, but members of Class Racer, because I didn't chime in on this because I don't really have a good idea for it. They were looking for an alternate list. So anybody that has any ideas on that in the chat, let us know what you think about that. An alternate list for national events. I think it would be nice. It would have to be something like a non-refundable deposit, though, or something. Because you just can't have people taking spots, saving spots for others. It just, whatever system's put in place, it's going to get manipulated. What do you think, Brian? You got anything to add to that?
I think just open it up, take more cars, and qualify the field.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's... that went without saying. I'm all for that.
I mean, whatever. Let 120 cars sign up. If somebody wants to pay and sign up and take a shot and qualify, then that's just going to make everything better. You're going to have less sandbagging and less game playing.
For sure. Take 100, qualify 80. Or 64. Take 80, qualify 64. I don't even think 80 is enough. If you take, well, 64 and 128 would have no buy runs whatsoever. But anything in between that's going to have something somewhere.
Yeah, I think, well, even, so let 120 cars sign up. You have to qualify. They take the top 60. As a business model, they're still going to get the money. People are going to take the chance to try to qualify if you think you can. You might sneak in. I mean, as a business model, you're collecting more money with the same amount of work. Why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, but now you bring in a whole new aspect of, well, guys that can only run, 4 or 5 under the index, they aren't even going to try. And then they're not even going to show up to, they probably wouldn't show up to divisionals either. Why do I need grade points if I don't have any shot of qualifying for a national event? So they might just pack it in all together, or they're going to go, really hard and try and put together a combination that can qualify and make the field. So definitely taking more cars would help. Brian Warner says the gold and silver, like world champs, they need to wait until the end to enter. Or it would be nice if they waited until the last week to enter, because they can enter whenever they want. I don't know. You can't. Some world champs. Some people like low quotas. Like if you only have to worry about besting 50 cars or 60 cars, why would you want 120 cars to show up if you're a really good, racer,
all right,
driver?
Case in point, Class Racer Revival. Probably the best air, the best track, and the fastest. Every car there's went. I'm not sure what day this is. I think this is the first race. The low qualifier on the sheet under was 23 under. He was number 73. The 60th was 77 under, 70 under. So theoretically there, everybody still has a shot.
Yeah,
Yes.
77 under.
People are going to go faster. People are going to try to qualify harder. Well, that's going to also make the automatic horsepower factor work better too.
Right. I definitely agree with that. And at St. Louis, there was no reason for anybody to sandbag. People were taking weight out of their car that they hadn't taken out in years. It was more of an all-out situation, which is nice to watch.
I mean, even my slow junk qualified, I could have made it. So I think anybody has a chance.
I think we would have to take that a step further. We'd have to look at the so that's the Class Racer Revival. We have to look at the Sportsman Showdown. Check out what their qualifying sheet looked like also.
But I mean, everybody there went a tenth or two faster than they've ever went probably in their life. At least the people who came from here. We never see air like that. So you're trying to tell me in Brainerd in the summer? I mean, yeah, just about anybody could make it, but at least make a chance. I mean, people are going to obviously step up their game. They're going to qualify higher, which that's a win-win for everyone. Are you going to shut it off at the 1,000 if the only way to make the show after you drove there and spend the money?
No, well, that eliminates the 1,000-foot qualifying if you have to make a field. So there can't be too much of that going on at Indy, right? If they're taking 160 cars and only qualifying 128, they used to take 180 cars. They slashed it by 20 cars, but I can't imagine a lot of people. Maybe like an Ernie Neal car could literally kill the ignition at 1,000 foot and still qualify in the top 20, but not too many other cars can do that.
All right, well, we'll get hate mail for that too, but that's okay. We like it all. The complaining customer is our friend, is what the great Bader told us, so bring it on.
So national event alternate list. Somebody chime in, comment in the comments what you think about that. Leave a comment on YouTube also. All right, let's get into this 1,000-foot racing. Okay, so I did a little blurb on this last week, and this just drives me up a wall, this 1,000-foot shit. Because, again, like what I was saying, how do they actually work? Who like, so you chase the guy or whatever, you guys are so close, neck and neck. I mean, how can you tell who crossed first if it's a close race like that? What do you do then? Do you just keep going? Do you guys both hit the brakes? Like, do you hit the brake and then just blip your throttle so you can put a little fender on the other guy and act like you didn't know and just plead ignorance when you get the win? I mean, how is that? That is the honor system of all honor systems, I think. A handshake deal in the staging lanes for a heads-up run.
I haven't found myself in that situation, so I don't have anything to offer. I think I've been in one heads-up race, and yeah, it was my first time down the track pretty much in a stock eliminator car. So, and when the guy next to you has you by like 4 or 5 tenths, it's pretty insignificant.
Well,
I
you're
should-
gonna bob and weave, dude. You're in A stock automatic, which I almost forgot to mention here. Connor Statler. There were 9 A stock automatic cars in this field. He was the 8th fastest. So just on the sheet. Now maybe he had a ton in the bag that he could have used when he needed it, but he got through that whole field with 8 other A stock automatic cars. So Brian, if he can weave around, you're gonna be able to do it too.
Absolutely. It's yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe that's my maybe I'll have to keep that in my bag. So all right, we're gonna do 1,000 foot, and I'll just have my fingers crossed behind my back when we make that agreement, and I'll run it all out, and they'd probably still beat me.
But my thing is with this 1,000-foot racing. Now, it happened at the Baytown race 2 weeks ago, and you're just like, dude, if you keep 1,000-foot racing the same people all the time and they just keep beating you, what is the point? Put that thing on absolute kill. Hope that you tree your opponent. Hope that they sit on it. They're the faster car, and hope that you trigger, an AHFS review. Like, you gotta plan ahead for the future. That maybe you can get them, 1 or 2 times from now.
Well, I understand why they do it. And I can see both sides. I guess my thing would be, if you want to write the check for my car, you can tell me how to drive it. If it's my car, I pay for it. I'm going to run it how I want to run it. And I think that's all these combos, if somebody wants to run their car all out and hit it with the horsepower, they wrote the check for it. It's their money. Like, let them deal with it. It's nobody else to ridicule or tell them how you're going to run your program unless you want to write a check. I guess that'll be my official stance. If you want to pay for my car, you can tell me how to run my combo. Otherwise, shut up and sit down.
Well, you have cars that can 60 foot better. You got cars that pull that last 300 feet better. You got carburetors versus fuel injection. I mean, that's an argument. Versus first gen big block Camaro versus a 4th gen, which is the 4th gen pulls harder at the finish line, whereas first gen leaves harder. I mean, you got that argument there. Now the only time that I could see this 1,000-foot racing crap is if you have 2 cars in the same with the same engine combo, and neither one of them wants to hit the combo for each other. Okay, now we do this 1,000-foot thing. But when you got a Ford versus Chevy, okay, you got to play the chess game and try and go for the long term investment, in my opinion, which is, I'm going to do everything I can. You're faster than me. I'm going to do everything I can to make you get hit with horsepower, so that next time, or maybe 2 times from now, after you get hit 1 or 2 times, then, that's it. Plus, if you go more than a second under against me and you beat me, all right, fine. Let's say you went 118 under. Okay, you're not going to get an automatic hit. But let's say we get paired up again at the next race, heads up. Now you got a choice to make. You're either going to go 118 under again to beat me, or you're going to start thinking, if I go 1 second under again, now I'm triggering a review. Now I have to slow myself down throughout the season so I don't have an average of 85 under or higher, because now I am going to get hit with horsepower. So I think play the chess game, go for the long-term investment. That's my stance on it. 1,000-foot racing annoys me. I'm all about, qualifying and positioning yourself, and I think that's cool, and I think it's a fun game to play. I play it myself. But I don't know. If I'm in the eliminator, I'm here to win. And that's it. And if I screw myself to win, then so be it. And if it's a national event, you better believe I ain't 1,000-foot racing nobody.
Maybe you just add more weight. All right, we're just going to add weight to the cars and then race all out.
That's a terrific idea, actually. Run it all out. Both put in, 10 pounds less than the next class minimum weight. Load the cars up with weight. You can inspect them.
Or my theory is just run your own race. You know what? If I'm going to run it all out, I'm going to run it all out. I'm not quitting at 1,000 feet. But it's fortunately in my combo that it's pretty much impossible to go 120 under, so I have pretty much a lot of confidence if that did happen. I'd be so ecstatic that my car actually worked that good that it wouldn't matter.
I think also a lot of people don't understand how the automatic horsepower factoring system works. And I'm surprised. I had a friend that was racing at least 10 years longer than me, asking me how it worked, and also asking me what his minimum weight in Superstock was wrong for like 8 years. So he didn't even know how to calculate his own weight. So I found that funny. This is a former national event winner, and was racing when I was before I even got my first race car. I used to, go to the track in the early 2000s and watch, and he was running Superstock. He's not much older than me. He's a young guy, and you'd be amazed at what people don't know and understand. So it's potentially that the fact that people don't understand how this horsepower factoring system works. And even Brian Warner brings up a good point. Some people think that if they just go a second under one time, that's it. They get horsepower. And that's not how it works. But if you want to think that, that's fine. But you need to go a second under 2 times. If you do that 2 times, that triggers a review. Now they calculate your average. If your average is 85 under or quicker, you get hit. And I believe you get hit with the 1.25%. Now, if you go 1.2 seconds under, you get an automatic hit on Monday or Tuesday morning.
I like how he also puts on there, I'm constantly being asked for the last qualifying run what I'm doing. Are you moving up or staying put? Well, no kidding. I mean, you're Warner. Like, I don't want to hide from you, too.
I got to think the Warner qualifying method is my brother and I need to be back-to-back, so we don't have to race each other until the final round. And then you throw Herbie Knoll in there, and I don't know. Now all 3 of them kind of have to avoid each other till semifinal rounds. That would be my assumption. Warner, you can let me know if I'm accurate or not. Or just give me a middle finger up on the chat window. Who knows?
Is there that emoji?
Probably.
Oh, boy. What else do we got?
T-shirts and stickers.
Lots
People
of
have
t-shirts and
started
stickers.
ordering T-shirts and stickers from us, so we just want to remind them that we do have them for sale. I told everybody that Brian has them at his facility.
Well, and we're even, the guys that have ordered, there's a few sizes that we are sold out of already. They're going pretty fast, so we're going to have to get, we're starting a list. If the size is already ordered out, we're starting a list, and we'll get more coming as soon as we can. So, appreciate your patience. I had no idea they'd go as fast as they are. So, we appreciate everybody for the support, donations, and like I said, the t-shirts. We made a pretty good upgrade into the studio that hopefully we'll be able to roll out here in the next episode or 2. And I think everybody will really like the changes that are coming. So, thanks for the support and helping how you can.
And Brian did give me a middle finger emoji.
Leave it to Warner to find that one. It's probably his most favorite.
Just because I did a little blurb last week, I want to, since we're having like an official episode here, the winners from the Baytown, the Houston Division 4 Lucas Oil Drag Race was in stock. Jerry Emmons, A stock automatic in a 69 Camaro. He had a heads-up final versus Britt Cummings. I was looking forward to it. My goodness, I was watching and watching and watching. Couldn't wait for this heads-up final, and it was just so anticlimactic. I think Britt Cummings spun off the starting line, and that was it. They were both kind of able to shut him off. And Superstock Greg Stanfield won in GTJ automatic. He had an 87 Camaro. And I'm just going based off of memory here. So I don't remember who Greg Stanfield beat in the final. Watch last week's little blurb if you want to see who he raced in the final.
This is going to be a dumb question, but what's going on this weekend?
This weekend, so we were supposed to have St. Louis, and we were supposed to have the NHRA Nationals in Arizona. So I don't think either one of those are happening. But South Georgia Motorsports Park, Division 2 race, that's what's on my calendar.
Isn't there, isn't the Michigan, or isn't that the Great Lakes Where was that at? Is that this weekend or is that next weekend? What other? Is there any other association races out there, guys, listening to? Like, we're all about promoting all of them. Oh, May 1st and 2nd. Guaranteed 1,500 to win.
May 1st and 2nd. So a couple more weeks till that one.
I kind of lose. The spring's terrible for me. I'm busy and running around, and I kind of lose all track of what actual day it is. So I apologize for that. I should have known that. But yeah, May 1st and 2nd, 1,500 to win at the Mid-Michigan Motorplex. So that'll be awesome. 1,500 to win, 2,000 to win if over 40 cars. 2 days, 2 races. Be there or be square.
All right. When was that? May 1st and 2nd?
Yes.
And where was it? Great Lakes?
Yep, Mid-Michigan Motorplex.
Okay. All right. That's you had one job, Brian. You're supposed to get the schedule for all the association races so we can pump them up. I have the NHRA schedule that I filled in, but I just feel like I keep canceling or crossing things out, and I could be getting confused right now. But according to my schedule, there's a divisional in Georgia, Division 2 race this weekend. So somebody let me know if I'm wrong on that. And thank you, Stan and Sheila Holt, whoever it was, Stan or Sheila. Greg Stanfield raced Brett Candies in the final at Houston 2 weeks ago. Brett Candies was doing some killer driving, but Stanfield's driving was amazing that week. The guy is tearing it up, and then he was in the final in stock at Vegas. So Greg Stanfield, the former pro stock racer, engine builder, and lights out in stock and super stock driving. So don't want to race him either. My list of people I don't want to race just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. At some point, I'm just probably not even going to go to the races anymore.
Well, you have an excellent possibility of being a new media personality there. I mean, I keep watching your interviews. Like, that guy was there? That's awesome. Like, it's been kind of fun to sit back and watch them. So thanks for putting all those together and doing that work. Like, that was really cool. I can't wait to see you at more races doing that.
Thank you. Yep, I can't wait to do it more. I was really enjoying it, and well, we'll see. I'm gonna do it at Yellow Bullet Nationals in Maryland in mid-May, so not stock and super stock, unfortunately for me, but you know, just a whole nother avenue of racing for me to check out for the first time.
You're not going to go to the dark side, are you?
NHRA events. Like, I would love to keep interviewing people, but at NHRA national and divisional events, I don't know. Don't want to kind of get in trouble for doing something like that. I don't know what the rules are. Maybe somebody else can let me know.
Come on, Bobby. Just turn the Beastie Boys on. Isn't that breaking the law? Breaking the law. Have it cranked in your ears when you're walking around and interview people.
Yep, I don't want them taking my NHRA number and not let me race anymore. Don't forget, this is the whole reason I got into this game. I want to drive a car. Gosh damn it!
You need to come over here.
I have like another month until my first race.
Come over here to our association races. You know, we're all inclusive. We'll let you walk around and interview whoever you want. And you'll start to come to the dark side and have fun. You know, where you can actually race, and every race is a big money race, and the people are super nice, and our governor lets us do what we want. Like, you should really move to the Middle Earth.
Oh, Christy Gnome.
Cut Werner, Judas Priest. All right, sorry. Wrong reference on breaking the law. he always keeps us straight. Thanks for the keeping us on the straight and narrow there. I think he just knows that song really well. That's how he knows it.
I know, right? Oh, and somebody make me a suggestion for an iPhone. I was using the new iPhone SE for these interviews, and the automatic refocusing was just driving me absolutely nuts. So I need something better. I don't know. I'm thinking about a 12.
Yeah, I get the 12. They just came out with a brand new purple one yesterday.
Oh, purple one. Perfect.
Yeah.
What does that do for me?
I don't know. They just made a big deal out of purple.
I guess at least if you lost your phone, nobody's going to steal it.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, look, some little teenage girl dropped her iPhone 12 on the ground.
Or Craig, maybe you have a suggestion for a camera. But I don't want to have a big, like a real camera. Plus, I was trying to get in these interviews. I was supposed to be holding, mic and actually interviewing people, but it turned into since my co-host was racing and winning races, I just had to hold my own camera, and it kind of just went like that for the whole weekend. So it's probably going to stay like that forever until I get a.
Well, speaking of sports betting at races, I would put pretty good money that the odds of that happening again probably aren't very likely, so I'll probably be a better support person the next time we're together.
All right. All right. Well, I'll take you up on that next time if we ever are in the same, facility ever again. But anyways, all right. I think we covered everything we needed to cover today. And we got all our winners. All right. I mentioned everything I needed to mention today. Craig, you can take us away.
Away. All right. This is Class Racing Today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Don't forget to get you up in the morning. Artisan Coffee, coffeebyartisan.com is the website. T-shirts and stickers, classracingtoday@gmail.com. If you want to just send a note and say hi, we'd like to hear from you. So thanks a lot for hanging out with us and listening, sharing this out to your friends and loved ones. Classracingtoday.com. Thanks for listening. You guys have a great day. For Bobby and Brian, this is Craig. See you later. Have a good one.